with one LeBron James. And the very guy that wants to exit can't find LeBron's number, doesn't want to open his mouth, but to somebody else to try to trash the king.
You're down on Kyrie now.
That's all right. I mean, I still got you, but hey, do it. Yeah. Skip, he'll make a difference depending on what happens with Kyrie. Because I think they were thinking Kyrie was going to be there.
Come on, Derrick
Rose can come in, give them 20 minutes, a better 20 minutes than what Darren Williams gave them. Mm-hmm. He also can play on the ball and can take LeBron off the ball. Mm-hmm. Therefore, LeBron doesn't have to exert so much energy initiating the offense for everybody. D Rose can do that. It's going to be interesting to see. Now, if Kyrie leaves, instead of 20 minutes, he's going to probably be asked to play 30. Skip, after doing some research, I did not know this. Derrick Rose is only 28 years of age. Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook are the same age. They came in the same draft. Skip, the dude is 28. Mm-hmm. Probably got the body of like a 38-year-old. All the ankle injuries. And hopefully
40-year-old.
And this is normally what happens when people go play with the Patriots or they go play with LeBron James.
Now, this is a truth.
Whatever issues they had at other places, they don't seem to bring those same issues with them when they're at this location.
Right.
Because I can assure you,
right,
you thinking about not showing up to a game and not telling anybody,
right,
you better be in Cleveland General.
All right. You better be in the hospital. All right, so the big question still remains, is Kyrie Irving going to stay there, and what is Derrick Rose going to bring? And I'm listening to Skip Bayless and on Undisputed, and Shannon, and guys, we're just being hopeful when it comes to Derrick. I keep calling him Mr. Glass because he keeps getting hurt. If you know where Mr. Glass came from, it came from that movie where Samuel Jackson, his body was just all broken up. He couldn't do anything. He was Mr. Glass. And Bruce Willis was Mr. Strong. But I'm just... You want to hope, you Cleveland fans really want to hope that Derrick is going to be part of the answer. But when you listen to some statistics, it's just like Derrick is like I said in my other video. He can probably give you a good few minutes. Go to the hole, go to the basket. You know what I'm saying? He's terrible from the outside. 22% from 3, just terrible. But he can go to the hole like nobody's business. He can make your team exciting. You know what I'm saying? But he just has a terrible rap sheet. he won't show up for games. He'll just be lackadaisical. He just doesn't care, and he does it to every team. He's like, I don't feel like playing. I'm listening to some more of this because they're gonna tell you just what I'm already saying. But they're the professional analysts. I'm just the guy sitting on his porch.
Up and play through. He's like, I'm out.
Right.
I can't play tonight. No, I don't feel like it. I can't play tomorrow night, and nights on end, as you know, he just wouldn't play with what we would consider minor injuries.
But Skip, football players have a different mindset than basketball and baseball because
we'll go back to
in true age.
I give him like 33.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like 33.
Which is why ultimately I believe Derrick Rose will frustrate and disappoint LeBron James. He will try to get the best out of him, and I think there'll be flashes of the old Derrick along the trail.
Yeah.
But if you talk to people who knew him well in Chicago, who followed him closely in Chicago, he became the all-time head case. And the problem started with the pain tolerance. He had low to no pain tolerance. The most minor injury, Shannon Sharp would just gut it up and play through. He's like, I'm out. I just can't play tonight. No, I don't feel
but
like
Shannon
it.
Sharp
I
is a
can't play
football
tomorrow
player.
night and nights on end. As you know, he just wouldn't play with what we would consider minor injuries.
But Skip, football players have a different mindset than basketball and baseball, because you look, we play 16 games. They play 82. Baseball play 162. So if we miss a game, it's the equivalent of missing 5 games in the NBA.
Plus it's contact all day.
10 games in MLB.
I'm going to move on from that. I'm going to hear some more.
The Cavaliers, starting with LeBron James, pride themselves on playing some defense. I thought it fell off at the end of last year, but they can, when they lock in and lock down, they can play defense. Derrick Rose has never had much use for playing defense.
Is he worse than Kyrie?
Yes. When Kyrie would lock up, I saw Kyrie play some hellacious good defense in the finals. I did, both this year and last year. When he decides to, he can play at a level higher than Derrick Rose. I don't think Derrick Rose ever cared about playing defense. And Derrick Rose isn't just a bad three-point shooter. He's one of the worst. He shot 22% from 3 last year. So 22%. He's a spot-up three-point shooter. If, in fact, LeBron's running the point, you got the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, if you let him dribble it and drive it into the paint, I'll give you that. Because he won the MVP, as I told you the other day. He basically would run through the brick wall that was those 3 big post guys in the camp.
And for some reason, I think that's what they really want. I think they're looking for a Derrick Rose to penetrate, the first line of defense, break into, go into the paint, maybe score, maybe dish it off. This is what I'm thinking that they're wanting more of, and I'm thinking they want more of that because it could be a counter to what beat them in the championship games. A lot of times they were beat, outside of the paint. You know what I mean? So when you look at going inside of the paint, going, into the perimeter, you know what I'm saying? When you look at that whole inside game, for one, let's do it like this. I ain't the best basketball player at all. But when you want to counter somebody's ability, you know what I mean? You basically look at what they're not doing or what they're not doing as well as you can do. All right. So when you put LeBron James and Derrick Rose together, you got 2 players who can penetrate the defense with pretty much with ease and at will, and can break into the paint and can score that easy basket. That's what you got. Once they get past the first 3 defenders, it's pretty much them and the center. You know what I mean? It's, once they shake and bake. Derrick Rose is an expert at that. All right, so let's be real. He's horrible from the outside. So they're not looking to match Golden State's 3-point game. You know what I mean? What they're looking to do is, as far as I'm concerned, the way I'm looking at this, what they're looking to do is just have a complete inside easy basket game. Now, of course, nothing's easy in the NBA, but nonetheless, when you got 2 people who have been MVPs and they're dominant at that position, I think that's just what they're going to do. They're going to take that ball to the inside and they're just going to beat up on the inside game. That's what it looks like to me. Now, is it as effective as a 3-point game? Well, 3 points are harder to make, but nonetheless, when you got, when your MVP, when your MVP, 3 years ago is pretty much the master at 3 points, you know what I mean? It's like, you're not stopping that dude. And when the MVP last year, he ain't too shabby at shooting from the 3 either. It's like, you're going to have to D all that up. Now, as we already know, Kyrie Irving is not the best at defense. And now you have Derrick Rose, who isn't even interested in playing defense. So it just looks to me that they're looking at a complete offense of dominant game. They're looking at a fast-paced game, and and then you have that. You have, Derrick Rose, who has pretty much the body of, of a 40-year-old, but he's only 28 years old. It's like, it's like my mind is telling me no, but my body, his body and his mind just aren't agreeing because once he gets a little, once he breaks a fingernail, he's going to sit out for 3 games. And he's just not going to show up, because I remember in Chicago, they were looking for D Rose. They were just like, are you or are you not coming back? Like, what are you going to do? And he just wouldn't show up. When I say wouldn't show up, I mean he wouldn't call. He wouldn't answer the phone. He is like, where is Derrick Rose? I mean, it's like a missing person. You know what I mean? And it was just a bad deal. In New York, he didn't do that, but nonetheless, when he didn't feel like playing, he just did not come to play. When it was a lost cause, he's just like, what's it worth? I still think that D Rose. I still think that he's going to give some good D Rose. He's going to go in there and he's going to give. He's going to show up for he might show up for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? I still think that's going to happen. I still think he's going to be inspired by LeBron. Because we know LeBron is not having that. LeBron, squared up on Tristan Thompson. Like, yo, you got to come with it. So I don't think LeBron is going to be even anywhere close to playing around with D Rose. And I think that contract says it all. Because, like I said, he could have went somewhere and got more. They know D Rose's track record. You know what I'm saying? They know what he can do, but they know what he has done. Nobody is stupid here. Nobody is blind. D Rose made it very, very public that when he just doesn't want to play, he's not going to even come to the game. And that's all there's to it. So I think that contract is more like a, let's see what you're going to do contract. It's veteran league minimum. So I just wanted to get another perspective from the professionals and listen to what they had to say because, there's a lot going on with this dude. It's not just all cut and dry. It's, and then just to look at the system that they're trying to create. Like, they're not even trying to come with the 3-point game and just try to, match the best backcourt shooting team ever. They're not trying to match Golden State's firepower for the 3-point game. And then when you got to look at the one game where they did slow down Curry and Durant, they had help from the refs doing it, but they held them to low points. You got to look at that, and you got to, if you analyze that game, they might be trying to figure out a way to step up on their defense, but they got the wrong guy for that, for that particular thing. So I don't know how they're going. I just don't see how they're going to be a dominant team with Derrick Rose as far as defensively. I can't see that. I can't see that. All I can see is them saying, let's match speed for speed, because when Derrick Rose is on, he's on. He's fast. He's elusive. He's hard to keep up with. That's it. He's going to shoot with both hands. He's going to go into the paint, and he's going to break somebody's ankles. That's just it, and that's all. And him and Durant, like I said, the same age. So it wouldn't surprise me if D would be watching Durant, like square up. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I'm saying speed for speed, but health for health, there's no competition. Durant's just a better player. All around, Durant is a better player. But like I said, speed for speed, Derrick Rose is a stronger player when he's healthy. That's just the truth. So I'm not necessarily looking for them to shut down Durant with Rose. I can only see this being a counterpunch situation. That's the only thing I can think of. And of course, you guys can tell me more about what I don't know, because you guys are the basketball experts. I'm gonna read some comments here before I close this video. Usually I would go outside, but okay. My man D-Dubs. D-Dubs been chatting it up. And, we've been just agreeing on how the NBA plays the people. And Dubs is like, 100% tone. They move and we react. They tell us what's going on, what's going to happen, and we figure it out, thinking creatively with ourselves and subconsciously and acting with logic. Our conscience, unfortunately, and then he continues, but he's saying unfortunately not everybody agrees, and he's saying that because he's basically gotten to a I don't know. These guys are pretty much discussing whether the NBA is fixed or not. You know what I mean? And Ahmet Sanchez is saying that the NBA is not fixed, and he's a subscriber who is on my channel telling me I should stop making videos about sports being fixed. but he's a subscriber, so I don't get it. Still love you, dog, man. You here, you talking it up. You asked me some good questions, but it's just, why are you here? Patricia Robinson, I don't know if you're a subscriber, but I'm not even going to read your comment. It's not worth reading because you're not a subscriber. You're just trying to get me to go to Instagram, and I just erase those when I see that. Mikey James, the pugilist, he's talking about gematria. It was like Sanchez or Zach must be speaking of gematria. Listen, you guys, I don't get into gematria. And he's talking about, Derrick Rose is going to wear number 1. LeBron James is going to wear number 23. 123 must have some type of significance, and that I must be right because 123 has some significance for LeBron to win this year. Listen, I don't base anything off of gematria because I don't study it. I tried to understand it, but the thing about gematria is it doesn't tell me what's going to happen right now. Every time I hear somebody talking about gematria, they talk about the past. I'm like, tell me what's going to happen and be on point. You know what I mean? I told you guys who was going to win the last 2 basketball championships, and that's exactly what happened. I even told you who was going to get hurt. I told you the plays within the play. You know what I'm saying? I told you the script that was going to happen, and a lot of that script did happen. And it's not because of some numbers game. It's just because it's a script. They keep doing the same thing. All you have to do is look at the script and be like, okay, this is what's going to happen. In order for this team to win, they have to follow this script, this dialogue, the same recipe. They have to follow it. You know what I mean? And that's just that. Just Play 2020 is a new subscriber. Thank you very much, sir. And you're right, everyone does have a weakness. Not there yet. Oh, they're talking about Kawhi Leonard. D-Dubs. Sanchez and D-Dubs going at it hard yesterday. Upper echelon comment. I still believe LeBron James loses in the finals and leaves. Always possible. Listen, we think LeBron James is leaving anyway. Now, there was a discussion if Derrick, they got Derrick Rose, they got a dynamite player when he wants to be. Can they go ahead and win with Derrick Rose? The answer is absolutely yes, because LeBron James is still there. And then it's like, what if they do win? What will LeBron do? And people are like, I can't see LeBron James winning and then leaving. And I'm like, well, you don't know LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? He does what he wants to do. Listen, when you think about that, if LeBron wanted to stay in Miami and win, he could have done that. Why would he not have? Because of what? Chris Bosh? His blood clots? LeBron just wanted to come back to Cleveland. That's all that he was told to come back to Cleveland. That's all that's to it. That's it and that's all. He could have stayed there. Chris was still healthy then. He could have stayed there and won another championship if he wanted to. He didn't want to. He had everything he wanted. It's like, I don't want to. Because it wasn't in the script for him to stay there. So he didn't stay. Sanchez, bro. Sanchez and D-Dubs, I'm not going to read your argument. But I will read this. D-Dubs, when I was talking, when Sanchez said, come on, bro, you even think the injuries are fake. I'm going to tell you something. For one, D-Dubs came back and was like, none visible saw his injury. We're talking about Derrick Rose. Nobody saw his injury towards the end of the season. And with 3 games to go in the regular season, that's when he got it. That's pretty much when Derrick Rose got his injuries. In the playoffs in 2012 versus Philly. And, so basically, when Derrick Rose doesn't want to play, he just doesn't play. I just don't believe he gets injured as much as he says he does. I always told you guys, I think Derrick is one of the smartest guys in the NBA. And that's because he's collecting a check and sitting on his ass. I think he's one of the smartest players. Now, once again, this is what I think Derrick Rose is going to do. I said in my last video, I'm going to say it one more time. This is what I think he's going to do. He's only 28 years old, right? That's what I think D-Rose is going to do. I think he's going to ball out of control this year. I think what they were talking about, Skip and Shannon, like LeBron's going to get a lot out of him. I think that's absolutely true. I think he's going to be, like, he's not only going to be the old Derrick Rose, he's going to be the new Derrick Rose. He's going to just turn up, turn out, and all them other young words these people use. He's going to be lit, I guess. And they're going to win a championship because of it. And Cleveland is going to look at D Rose and go, you know what? We need to keep you around. How about a $15 million three-year contract? You're only 28 years old. Boom. D Rose is going to be like, hell yeah, I'll take that money. What's up with the upfront money? Probably getting $5 million up front. Boom. $5 million a year, right? He's only doing this year? $2 million this year? From the veterans contract, veteran league minimum. That's what I think he's going to do. I think he's going to come out and just turn up all year. It's going to be Derrick Rose goes to the paint. He's on fire. That's what I think. It's going to be crazy. They're going to win the championship. Him and LeBron going to pound up and hug at the end. And that's going to be the last you see of them two together. Ever. After that handshake, that's going to be it. Because LeBron is going to leave. Derrick Rose is going to play the next year somewhat okay. Then the year after that, he's going to get hurt. Then the year after that, he's going to get traded again. It's your boy Tone 202.